Yes, people, welcome back to another video, John Sinclair TV, back again. And tonight I've got NFC Matters Holly with us and special guests as well. We got to Holly.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm top of the pops and all the better for seeing you again. And, I had Adam Pearson yesterday and he was excellent. And hope we get Holly on as well. So how's things with Holly?
No, I'm very well. Thanks for having us on.
Champion stuff. Before we go on, if you like the video, like what you see, peeps, then please like, subscribe, and if you like to super chat, if you think I'm worth a super chat, click on the $sign. If you'd like to become a member, it's 99p, and just click on that 99p a month. Also follow on Holly Blades 205, also Holly Blades on her new YouTube channel, which is absolutely impressive as well. So got in common straight away. Got PD Proudlock as well. He's first in the cuts as well. I see Cabbage Heat is at it again with more ridiculous comments against us again. We're going to talk about that, Pete, straight away. Peter is out. I'm not going to react fully, but I get what you mean, Mason. Both you okay, mate. Big up to Tom. Please, that's completely lost the plot. I'm not sure if he ever had it in the first place, mind. Big up to Brian, you're early, mate. And he's learning. Big up to you, Brian. Just seen Adam T's vid. Boost, mate, leave us alone. We leave you alone. Big up to Jules, one of my mods. Good evening to you. Keep respectful, no caps, and click the subscribe and join the channel. Big up Jules, and big up to you as well. Big up to Trolls, another mod as well. Hope you're okay. Good evening to you. I've got so many comments around as well. I've got Now as well. And big up to you all. Big up to Now. Hope you both keep well. I'm looking forward to see what Dinosaur Fest Steve Bruce after done it again. Wow. And everyone's saying hello. Big up to Raymond as well. It looks like Botman's going to Izmir. I've said this for months and months and months, and yet people say he's going to come to Newcastle. No, he's not. Big up to Mantle. Hope you're both cool. Absolutely fine. Everyone's to other people as well. Right, we're going to talk about Steve Bruce. He's been in the news again for the wrong reasons. I mean, people say just move away from him, etc. But let's be real, we can't if he's going to keep having to go out of our football club. We said offline that basically he's come on and he had a go at Newcastle United, saying that he cannot retire, etc., because he got a stick. This is what he said. I mean, I'm not going to go through it all, but I knew the team was doing on the pitch what Newcastle fans wanted, and I knew they were fed up. They wanted change, but I had a brief to keep the club up in the Premier League. We finished 12 and 13 within the 2 seasons. It wasn't entertaining to watch or attractive to watch. Hold your hand up. Then he basically said as well, we were pragmatic, defensive. I did what I had to do. Keeping Newcastle in the Premier League was worth something. Would the sell to new owners have gone ahead? If the club was in the Championship, I'm not so sure. So he's basically saying, right, that he played a major part of a takeover as well. Holly, enough for me. Tell us your thoughts, please.
Well, firstly, I think it's not the first time that we've heard Steve Bruce making ridiculous comments since he's left the club. It's been quite a consistent pattern, certainly of late. For some reason, he seems to be having a go. I don't know whether that's because he isn't doing very well at West Brom, so he's taking it out on Newcastle fans for whatever reason. But it is just bizarre, and I think he needs to move on. Look, he spent 2.5 years at the club. He got sacked. He left with a big payout, and he's got another job. So we need to just focus on that and forget Newcastle, because we're in a completely different place now compared to when he was the manager of the club. But in terms of obviously him coming out and saying that he made it more attractive to the new owners because he had us in the Premier League rather than the Championship, well, I don't think that was a big ask for Steve Bruce. Yes, we did have a significant lack of financial investment, but during his first transfer window at the club, he spent a lot of money. Like, we had Joe Linton, 40 million, sent maximum for 20-odd million, and there was some big money players signed for Steve Bruce. And I know he didn't have a lot to say in that, but there was still money spent. And of course, you've got to remember, the most laughable thing of all is that when the owners did come into the football club, we were in the bottom 3. So we were heading down to the Championship, and Eddie Howe had to save us from that, because I think most people would be in agreement if he was still here now. I don't think we would be in the Premier League.
I totally agree. We'd be in the Championship by now, by the way. Let's be real. We wouldn't even talking about players coming in and this and that and t'other. We would have not spent 92 million quid on players to save us up as well. Mind you, if we bought Chris Wood, there would have been an uproar under Ashley and Bruce, by the way. Let's be real. And big up to Jules. Keep it civil. Hit the like button and subscribe and enjoy the show. Big up to Foxy in the cut as well. Hope you're okay, mate. And he's from Colombia. Geordie Colombian as well. I like coffee. Hope you're okay, mate. Great interview, Holly did with Pete Graves as well, by the way. I thought that was a cracking interview.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. I'd love to get Pete Graves on the show, by the way, one day. Let's be honest about that. And I said hi to I Like Coffee. We just playing up the stream now, so I do apologize about that, people. I was going to say, I said about that as well. If we went down, it would have been Bruce's fault. The monumental bell end, yes. Big up to Musical with Diaby signed for us. I think we pulled out of the deal. I know we all try and keep it respectful, but the man's completely too how disrespectful. I agree, Mark. Agree. Big up to Mike and Jenna. Hope you're okay, mate. And not to bother the Botman goes to Milan. We should go and get Ndicka and Bremer. Bremer's going off to Inter Milan by all accounts for 26 million quid. Not announced, but it will happen very, very soon. That's the ironic thing. Steve Bruce saying the consortium wouldn't buy the club if he won in the championship when he nearly sent Ashdown there. Plus, we had Willock to thank more than him, exactly. Without Joe Willock in the first season, I think he'd be in trouble, Holly.
Yeah, I agree, because obviously he was coming and saving a lot of games, coming off the bench, scoring those winners, and he was fantastic for that season. Just disappointing he hasn't obviously had the goals once he signed for us permanently, but next year there's that chance, hopefully, that he'll get back to his best form.
Yeah, I'm a big Joe Willock fan, by the way, and I love the guy, and I think he's going to be fantastic. If he gets in the team with better players around him, I think he'd be brilliant next season. He's just carrying an injury, but I'm just glad he's going to be Harry's. We'll watch Adam's video straight after show, John, because I watch a bit of Doug, Liverpool fan. He's got Jamie, Liverpool fan, Dan, the Burnley fan. Macy is on it as well. Big up to Jimmy Reid, by the way. Hope you're okay. I'm fine, mate. We're both okay. And Jules says, Jimmy, cracking it for you, Holly. I'll commend it on your video as well.
Thank you.
Big up to David, my guy, and Susan as well. I hope you're okay. Watch out for David, by the way. He will always say that he would say, like, what's happened to your Man United team? I'm not a red. And I get a lot of people saying that I'm a red. I'm not. Even Paul says as well, by the way. Paul hit nail on the heat in this video. He said a toilet out of this. Yep, I'll be watching this later on. What about Conor Cordy? He not leave Wolves. Any news on Botman, Milan bound, Diaby? We're not going to get the guy. Can we just get on from Steve Bruce? He's irrelevant to us now and so far. Mate, we can't dismiss it, mate. We can't dismiss that, because at the end of the day, if he has to go to our football club, we'll have to say something, Collie.
I do agree to an extent. Like, I know he's kind of intentionally making comments which he knows is going to get under Newcastle fans' skin, and a lot of people will want to come out and defend the club, and rightfully so, when he's having a pop. But at the same time, I do agree with that comment, in the sense that for me, I never really bother reading too much into it. I just think, look, he's clearly bitter because his career isn't ending the way that he wanted to, and we can't do anything about that.
I agree. Exactly. And we did have a goal. We're not going to sit there and take it to our thumbs. We're going to have our say. It's like, if I had to go your family, Holly, right? You're not going to sit there and take it, are you? You could have come back at us, right? Or anyone for that matter. So, exactly, and rightly so. Yes, you are red. No, I'm not. And if Botman goes to Milan, who should the two sign guys? For me, personally, I would have gone for Bremer, but he's going to go off to Inter Milan. Ndicka for Eintracht Frankfurt as well. He's a good, decent defender, by the way. But we could come on to Dan Ashworth in a bit. But what about defence? Do you think we're going to sign a defender in the summer?
Yeah, I definitely think that we need another centre-back, because, of course, we signed Dan Burn, who's been fantastic since he joined the football club. But there's still not a lot of cover in that position, I feel like. Fernandez has been very in and out of the squad. It's been quite a bizarre situation with Fernandez. I'm not sure what's going on there, because we believe that he's fully fit again, and I think he's probably one of the better defenders at the club, but he's not been given that chance. So I'd imagine that it's time for him to move on. There's a few other guys that you think would be leaving the club, the likes of Kieran Clark. So we definitely need another centre-back. Who that'll be, I don't know. I'd be quite happy with someone like a Dan Burn, someone who's proven in the Premier League, not quite a world star yet. But I never read too much into names, and that's not just for defenders. I mean, across the pitch, because I think we get linked with so many people, and 99% of the time, the deals never come off. So I've just, and certainly now since the takeover, I've just sat back and thought, I've got trust in the owners and the guys making the decisions, and we'll just see who we get and get behind them when they come into the club. Well
said, well said. I'm just going to sit back myself and just trust these owners as well. I mean, we're not going to get ripped off for stupid amounts of money, like 85 million on Fit Osimhen for Napoli and all this. Great player, but they're not going to pay that sort of money yet. We need to be Champions League to make that happen anytime soon. But there you go. No doubt it caught up with Bruce and he's taking us soon. I think maybe natural for him to feel bitter seeing how well he did since he left and the great atmosphere around the club. Yeah, he's just jealous, just like everyone else. Sorry. Steve Bruce will keep making stupid comments, use our club to stay relevant and try and live rent-free in our heats like a bungalow and those other talks for pundits, yeah? These sport pundits, again, are just taking a sly dig at Newcastle again, like people like Gabby or Bongla Bor, right? Saying that they rather go to Brentford over Newcastle for 10 million less.
Yeah, I saw those comments as well, saying that they'd rather take less money and go down south because Newcastle isn't a nice place to live. I think it's the same narrative that's being played out, not just in sports media, but in national media across, well, pretty much forever, because a lot of people do have a bias towards the south of England, and that's never going to change, unfortunately. I just find it disgusting that these people are actually given platforms where they can just project this kind of discriminatory speech, because I think if it was any other topic, then it wouldn't really be allowed, but they're allowed to discriminate against the north of England for whatever reason. It's really appalling.
I think that's shocking. It really, really is, because he's never played for Newcastle United, never lived up Newcastle. So how does he flipping know? Don't see what I mean. But unless you lived at Newcastle or know about it, they should keep their mouth shut. And he's one of them as well. You know what I mean? But I can't be bothered with that guy at all. The post there that Enquiries, Liverpool keeper, unsure future. It'll stay. It's the Liverpool. Where's Tony the Red and Gordon? I'm not sure where they're at, mate. No idea. And yeah, I read that, Jeff. Sorry, mate. I would go for Joe Gomez or Christensen for centre back. Your thoughts? My thoughts is Christensen. Unless if they got space in Barca, I think he ended up going to Barcelona. Joe Gomez, I mean, I don't think he'll come to Newcastle. I think if he's going to leave, he'd probably go to Aston Villa. Holly, Joe Gomez?
Yeah, I can't see us probably getting a lot of the names that have been mentioned in the comments. I think as well, I hope it doesn't hold us back too much, but I think a lot of players will probably be deterred from the fact that we're not quite at the stage of getting European football yet. And certainly the players at the top of their game, I don't think will want to come for kind of a season where you'd expect us to be pushing for the top 10. They want to be pushing for the top 6 or the top 4.
Yeah. That's fair enough. We've got to be realistic in the transfer signings as well. We need to, because at the end of the day, all these big names are not going to come to Newcastle. They want to be in the Champions League every single season. And we've just got to bite the bullet and just say, look, whoever we get is going to be a bonus. But other than that, forget all these big names. They're not coming. They're not going to come here in a minute. If we get Tarkowski, he has to prove himself before I get behind him. He'd be off to Everton, mate. I mean, I wouldn't have him at Newcastle. Yes, realistic signing. It'd be a free. But would you take James Tarkowski?
Probably not. In January, I was all in favour of it because I know we were linked with him then as well. But I've seen him obviously play Newcastle twice last season, and both games, he didn't impress at all. I don't think he was any better than what we had. And obviously on the final day of the season when we relegated Burnley, essentially, I thought it was very, very poor. And I know his head wouldn't have been probably in the right place because obviously they'd been relegated and that game was so important for Burnley. But he really didn't impress me. So no, I wouldn't take him.
Fair comment. I mean, we could do better than Tarkowski. No disrespect. The guy's 29. And yeah, Dan Burns, 29 as well. So, I mean, for me, he was good a couple of years ago, but not for me, I'm afraid. Not for me. We got to Jules again, one of the mods. Clip the likes. Thank you, Jules. We love you lots, by the way. And if you haven't met Julie up in Newcastle, she is amazing. And big on the Foxy, by the way. Milenkovic from Fiorentina and Badia Shili from Monaco. We've been backup options to Ndika and Bremer. I wouldn't mind taking either. I think those two are really good players. Man, Lenkovic is quality, by the way, at the back with Fiorentina, one of the better players as well. What's this to on Talksport? Ponders had a pop in Newcastle. I know White and Jordan are on holiday. Is Sam Affairs and Alex Cook? I didn't listen to that. I did listen to that one, Holly, today.
No, I've been out all day.
Fair enough. That's a good answer. Fair enough. We're going to talk about Dan Ashworth in a bit. I'm going to find his comments away, and then we'll go on to Dan Ashworth in a bit. When it comes to Talksport, that they're about as trustworthy when talking about Newcastle as Paul Merson. That is very true. And big up to Joshua from India, by the way. Hope you're okay. Well, it's not too hot over there. First season on the Blues won a lot of games, 1-0, which kept us afloat. Then he goes into summer by 3 decent relegated players and continued to mismanage the squad. Totally agree. Monty Magma back in the stadium. Monty Magpie back in the stadium?
I believe he is. Yeah, I saw something on social media that he was back, and I think he might have been back for the Arsenal game, the last home game of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I thought that's a new one there, sort of thing. I should have known that sort of thing. But now you remind us. Thank you, Holly, for that. I should know better. Big up to Ryan from Canada, one of the mods as well. ASM, Wilson, Willock, and bad teams kept our heads above the water in the second season. Absolutely. They're the ones that kept us in the league. And make sure you smash in, you listen to Ryan, you know exactly what to do. And got some more. We'll talk about Dan Ashworth as well. Now he's been official sporting director, and I think it's great. For me, Holly, that is the most important signing of the summer. What do you think of him coming in?
No, I definitely agree, because I know that the club wanted Dan Ashworth for quite a long time. He was a key target of theirs, and I'm so glad that they've managed to get him through the door at the start of the window, so that he does have the whole summer to make the decisions that he feels fit, obviously, to take us into the new season and progress further and challenge. And he did great stuff at Brighton, so I don't see why he wouldn't do well at Newcastle. I think he'll be a good fit. And we definitely need a director of football, because the position that we're in, and don't get us wrong, I'm not taking away from Jason Tyndall, Eddie Howe, Mia Dad, the people that made the decisions in January, because they did very well. But the position that we're in, with quite a lot of money and needing to pretty much rebuild from the very beginning in order to kind of progress up the league, I think you need some extra expert input to do that. And I think Dan Ashworth will help us get in the right position, bring in the right people to do better things next season.
He's done a cracking job at Brighton, hasn't he? Got on players like Bissouma, Caicedo, Arupu as well, and Lamptey as well. If you can get those quality players similar to them up in Newcastle, I tell you something. Oh, and Alexis Calatar are really great, by the way. Get those kind of players or similar, or take a couple from Brighton. I'll take it all day long.
Yeah, definitely. I did great for Brighton, and especially you've got to remember, obviously Brighton's been kind of in the bottom half of the league, similar to us, flirting with relegation most seasons. And I think the signings that they made with Dan Ashworth have been very reasonable, because they've been good players, but they've also been players that kind of fit within a budget, and they haven't been out of their depths, you know, wasting money on players and then getting themselves in debt, like we've seen with other clubs. Obviously, Burnley's in that position now, sort of thing. They've got a lot of debt, and I know Everton are probably spending far too much. I can imagine financial fair play will catch up with them soon as well.
They've done over £500 million, and I think they will get caught up by the way. They're going to be in big trouble, but our new owners will not do that at all. Excuse me. They spend the right money when it's right. They're not going to be mugged off by clubs as well. If they're not right, they're just going to walk away. They've done it to Leverkusen, and they've done it to a couple of other clubs as well. So there you go. And Newcastle are an easy target right now with the media. It will only get worse the better. We need to try not to take the bait. I think it's right, you know. Just got to calm it down a little bit as well. And I visited Newcastle years ago, and it's a beautiful place. Big up to you, Josh, by the way. And let's have a look at this one as well. It's a bit slow with this. Round to what happened? Sorry, John. Is Murphy, Matafez, and Quirk on again mixed up? I did listen to it, mate. I'll have to watch it later on, mate. I do apologise now. We'll watch it later on. I still buzz with Hugo, so I'll keep my excitement for when the confirmed player comes in. The least I heard from Hugo Ekiteke, right? I mean, there's mixed reports, right? And said that is the agent fees, Holly. And also, the guy just don't want to come to Newcastle. Who do you believe? I think he's still come.
I have no idea. Again, it's another player that's been kind of all over the place. There was rumours that he was close in January, and then it didn't go through. And then yet again in the summer. And we're seeing this as well with quite a few players, because we were linked with a lot of names in January that didn't quite materialise, that are now resurfacing in the summer window. But then, yeah, we've seen reports Ekiteke is about to sign. Other people saying that you know, he doesn't want to sign for the club. And I know when I interviewed Pete Graves, he thought that he was close to signing as well. So I'd say that it's very hard to say. And for me personally, I don't believe anything that's said anywhere until it's in black and white and the club have announced it. And that's just the way I think it's best for most fans, because you can drive yourself crazy listening to every rumour.
Absolutely. People are panicking because he may not come to Newcastle. But if he's not sure about Newcastle, he should have a word with David Ginola, Lawrence Robert, Olivier Bernard. Talk to these former French players that played and played the trade for Newcastle United, and they'll tell him exactly what it's all about, and he'll get looked after 100% with these guys, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And also, if the player doesn't want to sign for Newcastle for whatever reason, if he doesn't feel that it's right for him, then I think you've got to respect that and move on. And I think we'll have other targets, backup options. I don't think it'll be like under Lee Charnley when we were just focusing on one player at a time. I think we'll have multiple targets at one time.
Absolutely. So we're not going to be rushed. There's plenty of decent players out there, but I still think we got to get the players at the right price. But I think Ekiteke would be fantastic. He's only 19 years old, but if you don't want to come to us, we're going to have to respect that. Jules, big up to you, Jules. Back on next week, can't we, at Holly? Hope you can make our get together. That's from Jules.
I'll try my best.
Bless her. Hope she does, because Julie's a fantastic lass, or Jules, I'll call her. Can you guys see Bissouma being linked? I know Dan Ashworth will know him from Brighton. I know Arsenal looking at him as well, but Arsenal been looking at him for quite a long time. I tell you what, my opinion, there's something going wrong at the minute with Bissouma, which I cannot say on here, but once I get sorted out, then I'd love to take him to Newcastle. That guy, he is absolutely brilliant.
I'm going to be honest. Obviously, like I have, heard of the player and stuff, but I haven't seen a great deal of him. And certainly when it comes to Premier League players, I genuinely only watch them kind of when they're playing against us, and then I'm more focused on obviously the Newcastle side. So there is some key names that obviously stand out in the Premier League, but you look at players like Dan Burn, for example, and I don't know about you, but I never really knew much about Dan Burn. I didn't pay attention, and then when we signed him for the football club, I thought, wow, he's incredible. Where's he been all these years? And I think a lot of players fall under the radar.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I mean, Dan Burn is a decent defender. He had Lukaku in his back pocket when they both met at Stamford Bridge for the 1-seat draw, and he still got a receipt. But Dan Burn, I wouldn't say he's skillful, but he knows how to defend properly. That's what I want to see my defense defending properly. So, but you're right. I mean, he came in and he's done a fantastic job. I think Eddie Howe found a good one there, even at 29. I did say he should play for England, but I was a bit far-fetched. But there you go. No chance of that. It's 31 Celsius, 11:45 p.m. John, not very hot as the rain are approaching. We're not playing today, Josh. If you got beat, I'd tell you to stay in bed, mate. It's not really just crap as well if you get beat. Wow, 21 Celsius outside is hot. Big up to Foxy. The problem with our contract players like Tarkowski and Lingard, they end up demanding much higher wages and signing on fees. That's true, isn't it, Holly? That's very true.
Definitely. And speaking about Jesse Lingard, I think he's going to struggle to get a club because, again, it was apparently close in January for us, and then he demanded too much with his fees or whatever, or Manchester United were causing a bit of an issue with that deal going through. And then now he's just demanding insane wages. And let's face it, most clubs aren't going to pay that. And I know that West Ham certainly wouldn't pay that either. They don't have the kind of money to just dish that out. So if he's going to outprice himself, then bigger fool him, because it's much better to get to a club where you're going to get regular game time rather than just demanding too much in wages.
Absolutely. He's going to price himself through and be out of a club as well. So I think his agents as well needs to drop it down as well, man, because it's just a bit too greedy. I do not want greedy players at my football club. I don't want players to play for the badge first and then we respect them for the back of their shirt every single time. So big up to Ken, by the way, from Facebook. Another cracking show. Good, bud. I'm good. Thank you so much indeed. Calvin Lewin, now odds on with bookies to join us. Calvin, he would have been my first choice, but if he came, then I'm going to have to back him, by the way. But he's certainly not been my first choice, by the way. But
too injury prone.
That's it, exactly. He beat us to the punch there. You're right. And nice to see we're black and white stripes again and not the white and black stripes. That kit was awful. Newcastle should always have 2 stripes. Looks better. And you know there won't be a 4-on kit. And big up to Mohammed. Good seeing to you, mate. Hope you're okay. And the next Muppet Show will be back very, very soon. I'll be doing that. And I'm sure that Fulham fan will be top of the list. And Ekiteke is in the Toulon tournament at the minute. He is indeed. Big up to Tom, by the way. Not confirmed, not a downer. Big up to Ryan as well. I'm all for our squads being French, English, and Portuguese speakers. Yep, that's not too bad. Nice to see us finally have a good friendly opposition instead of the National League North teams. It does raise an injury crisis for me. Having them so close together the night before the season, though, that's very, very true. They can speak, and if they're good enough, get what you mean. Just about quick on the Dan Ashworth, would it be a success?
Yeah, I would 100% say so. I think the club will have carefully looked at which person's the best to appoint in that position, and they feel that he's the right fit. So I'm sure that they'll have got that spot on.
Absolutely, absolutely. We've got to talk about Eddie Howe. I mean, since he came to the club, I mean, he got us 11th at the end of the season. And
Yeah.
before you give me that answer, so I'll just get quick and read out to Jules as well. My attitude chances, don't let all the rumours mess you if you heat. It will be relentless. Outlets trying to play up and play down links. Remember, it's a short window. Keep calm. Judy, I can't say any more than that. You're right. But yeah, Eddie Howe, I mean, he's coming. He's done a magnificent job, unbelievable job, right? He's made Joe Linton a quality player. Yeah, plays 4-3-3, right? He gets in good players like Target, Trippier, Dan Burn, Bruno going to come to in a bit, and Chris Wood. I mean, how did what changed the team?
I personally feel as though it was a mixture of a few things, and I know that when Eddie Howe was appointed, the opinion was quite split on him. And just after we'd sacked Steve Bruce, because I know there was a few weeks between him being sacked and the appointment of Eddie Howe, I did an interview, I think it was on Talk Sport, and they asked who I would like to bring in as manager. And at the time, I said Dream World, but I don't believe it'll happen, would be Rafa Benitez, because everyone knows I'm a big Rafa fan. But I said, realistically, I think we'll bring in Eddie Howe, and I thought that he would be a good appointment. And a lot of people were like, well, why would you bring in a manager that's, previously been relegated with Bournemouth, currently unemployed? That just seems so unambitious. But I said, I think we've got to be realistic, because at the time we were in the bottom three. It was a massive ask to stay up that season, because those players were so uninspired, so unfit, and it just seemed like the impossible task. And Eddie Howe was there banging on the door saying he wanted the job. Give him a chance. We gave him that chance, and he's been a massive success. And we've certainly reaped the benefits of that appointment massively. And you've got to remember that it's not just down to Eddie Howe. His coaching staff have been incredible as well. I think a lot of praise deserves to go to Jason Tyndall, of course, Graham Jones continuing with the club, and the owners, of course, brilliant. Supplying Eddie Howe, backing the manager for once. That's something we haven't seen for a long, long time. The appointments were spot on. And the new appointments, it's like being a spiral effect, because the new appointments give that extra boost of confidence to the current players that have been at the club a long time, and inspired them to fight for their positions in the team. It's a lot more competitive now, and I think as well what goes massively unnoticed is the fans. They played their part in it staying up massively, because for 14 years, the fans were constantly fighting with the club. They weren't really on the same page as the club. Now we're back on side. That last home game of the season, that Arsenal game, was probably one of the best atmospheres I've ever seen at St James's Park. It was electric, and I think what player wouldn't want to go out onto that pitch and try for those fans?
Absolutely right. I could not disagree with that at all. And you know what it is as well? I mean, they all want to play for Eddie Howe. They enjoy the training regime. They enjoy what they see from him. Got him fitter. Not only 3 days a week. It's been every day. And even players like Joe Linton smiling from one corner to another, right? And yeah, what else can I say? I mean, even Emil Kraft has improved a lot as well under Eddie Howe as well. So, wow. Not my favorite player, but he has done it. So yeah, we'll come on to Emil. Yeah, we'll talk about Emil Kraft quickly. I mean, do you think he's improved a lot, Emil?
Oh, 100%. I know when we let go of DeAndre Yedlin, I was left scratching my head thinking, why have we let go of Yedlin and then kept Kraft? Because at the time, Yedlin seemed like so much more of a better and more talented player than Emil Kraft. But certainly after that injury to Kieran Trippier, which was very unfortunate, and I was devastated at the time, he got more of a chance to show his ability, and I feel like he stepped up to the mark. Maybe he's not as much of a skillful player as Kieran Trippier, but he certainly filled in for him well. He was a brilliant, brilliant person to come into the side. And then when Trippier was fit again, you were left thinking, well, actually, I don't know if it feels right to drop Emil Kraft, because he's done so well. And I think he's that one player at the club, which is probably an unsung hero. He goes so unrecognised. And next season, if he's not starting, I think he's an excellent bench player.
I could not agree. I could not disagree any better than that. Colleague, absolutely spot on. I mean, he'd be a great backup, and he could save millions as well. And he'll come in and do a job. Big up to us, by the way, up Lagunas. Hope you're both okay. We're fine. Big Arsenal fan on us there. Too many content creators post rumors when a player isn't even signed. For me, it just looks stupid, silly, and pointless. Why not wait until the deal is done? Announce. I know Paul touched on it. I should take on that one. Sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like I said earlier, I never really bother reading much into rumours. I know there'll be some names that stick out and they're mentioned on Sky Sports and more reputable kind of platforms where you think there could be a bit more truth in that. But across the window, I dare say we're probably linked with 300-400 players. So what is the point in reading into all of those players and making videos on them? It just seems pointless.
Yeah, after I've done a video of Ekiteke the other day. I wish I'd never bothered now, but here's what it is. I can't delete it now because I've got so many views on it as well. It's just be a bit daft, but in future reference, I've got to do it when they sign, and that'd be the best thing for me to do. If Ekiteke is still not sure Newcastle's right for him 5 months after we try to get him in Jan, then we need to move on. The rumour price of Ekiteke is worrying to start with anyway. Is he worth the 36 million quid though for a 19-year-old?
I'd probably say not, and I know that he seems like a very promising youngster, but I think he's probably one for the future. I don't imagine him to hit the ground running in the Premier League, and I think there's time for us to bring youth in, but I think currently we need someone that'll come in and score the goals, because yes, we have Callum Wilson, who's fantastic on his day, but he spends a lot of time injured, and that's unfortunate, because if he didn't have those injuries, he'd be great, but he probably will have those problems again next season, and I hope he doesn't, but you'd imagine so if you follow him with the pattern across the past few seasons. So yeah, I think spending that much money on a youngster, it is a big gamble, and he hasn't scored that many goals really, and the Premier League is a big step up, and you'd imagine that his goals will become even less once he signs in the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs a bit of time, and I'm sure it'd be a success if he does come. Anyone just
I feel it's a bit like a situation where you're putting a lot of pressure on him. A bit like when we brought Jose Perez straight into the first team and just expected him to do a job. And thankfully with Perez, it did work, but that was a lot of pressure to put on a young player.
I totally agree. I mean, I'm going to back this guy if he comes, and we just got to take our time. Just don't put pressure on the kid. He will come good if and when he does come. And that's the most important thing. If you end up with the same as Jan, where signings are on and it's off, and players can't make their minds up, we just have to walk away and look elsewhere. I have to agree there, because we're not going to hang our boots sort of thing. Like you said, Holly, earlier on, that we look at other targets as well. We rather just stick to the one. And I'll agree with you on that one earlier on. Going to be Botman that will have Haaland in his pocket. Oh, he's going to Milan. And I think that's going to happen. If the media takes a dig at Newcastle, just tell them we're further south down on the ball. Works like a charm. That's from Mike. What do you think of Sky's zero after Diarra and Sarr? Who would you rather have? I mean, I think it's Diaby and Sarr. Would you take Sarr from Watford?
I don't really want to sign players from relegated sides, because we've done that in the past, and although it has worked out, you look at, say, Callum Wilson, who's been great for us, but I think we're at a position now where we have higher expectations and higher ambitions than that. A couple of years ago, when we were lucky to sign anybody under Ashley, I'd be delighted. But I think now we've got to raise the bar a little bit. And if you sign a bunch of players that have been relegated, then I feel like that's a recipe for disaster, because you don't want to make a team of players that have already been in that position. I just don't feel like that's a good way to move forward.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, Roy Keane came for a relegated team when he was at Forest and went to United, and guess what? He's won titles. But each of their own there, but I can see where you're coming from as well. But yeah, we'd rather get players who are going to be top quality, top teams so we can get them. Can't believe Rafa went from managing stars like Sergio Ramos and Varane to Colaccini and Colback in the Championship.
I tell you what, it's better than the position he's been in since he left Newcastle, because that's been an absolute disaster.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. Where's he going to go next? That's the thing. Went to Everton, and we did say it's not going to work out for him. And I feel sorry when we went there. He should have waited for a bigger club, and he just.
I don't think he'll be back to the Prem.
I think Everton must have killed him. I think Everton must have finished him in the Premier League, and I agree. I'll have to blame the board for that. But surely he should never have appointed. He should have listened to the fans and said, right, you know what? We're not going to listen to you. We're going to get Rafa, and that is that. And big up to Alan. So I'm afraid to disagree, John. Okay, cool. Pale coming here for money, and where club is going, but money big part of it. Our fans keep saying we're the richest club. Well, the thing is, though, all these players to be linked with, right? Why not come to Newcastle? Because they're not in the Champions League, number one. Number two, they want to go to a club where they play in the Champions League as well. And that is the thing. But one thing I'm going to say, Holly, right? If we go in the top 6 or top 4 Champions League, big if, by the way, and all these players will come and say, you know what, I want to come to Newcastle, would you take him back? Because I certainly wouldn't.
Yeah, I would personally. And I don't expect us to be in Europe or the Champions League next year, because I think that is insane. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's pretty crazy. But if it did happen and then other players wanting to sign, then yeah, you'd have to take them, because I can understand why a player that's maybe currently playing in the Champions League wouldn't want to almost drop back and be playing for a less competitive team, because we're not at that level yet. And you're going to see players that will not sign for us now, that a few years down the line will sign for us, and that's just the way football works. And it won't be just Newcastle, it will be any team that was in that position that want Champions League football, and if you can't supply that, then they won't come here.
That's the thing. That's the thing, you're right. And you just got to be realistic. If you be realistic on players sort of thing, and then I'll give them a chance to do well in the Champions League. So like a Jack Harrison from Leeds, you know what I mean? I'd take him from as well. Calvin Phillips, I'd take him all day long. But they both want to play in the Champions League. We just had to bear with it. I like the wall behind Ollie. It looks amazing.
Thank you.
I like coffee. And if you like the video, like what you see, people, please like, subscribe. And if you'd like to become a member, click on the join button. If you'd like to super chat or donation, if you're worth the donation, just click on the $sign. Just give what you can. It goes to good causes as well. And do follow Holly on her socials as well, HollyBlades05 and Holly Blades on her YouTube, new YouTube, by the way, and it's going really well. Love the background. Excuse me, John Holly showing tune colours. Thank you now. Big up to Rich, by the way, Man U fan. Big link to everybody. Big up to you as well, mate. So we're just done with comments, so I do apologise. And missing a couple of links from the local team in Norway, but yeah, Rich, etc. as well. So what about Bruno Guimarães? I mean, came to us for 40 million quid. I mean, how impressive have you been with this guy?
Massively. I think it's fair to say that a lot of Newcastle fans didn't know much about Bruno when he first signed for the football club. But as soon as we saw him on the pitch, we could tell, wow, this guy is talented. And of course, being a Brazilian international, you wouldn't expect any less. But he's really like that next step in the football club's plan, I feel like, because we signed players which are for the here and now, and that was your Dan Burns, your Chris Woods, the players that could help us in a scrappy relegation battle. But players like Bruno will be the ones to take us to that next level. They will be in a side when we're playing for Europe. They will be pushing for silverware, potentially the league with Newcastle. And he's just unreal. Some of his goals have been absolutely just perfection. Brilliant to watch. And teaming up with Joe Linton in the midfield as well, I think, has been lovely to see.
Yeah, you know what it is, right? I mean, Arsenal went for him as well, and for about a year, couldn't get him. Newcastle came in, went for him. We saw them in the project, but I hope if you get linked, players get linked with Newcastle, look at Bruno, right? And I'll tell you what, this guy's going to be an absolute worldie in years to come.
And not just that as well, I think Kieran Trippier will play a big part. I think Kieran Trippier probably inspired the likes of Bruno and other players to follow suit and sign for Newcastle in the January, because let's face it, the current league position wasn't very attractive. But Kieran Trippier, a Champions League winning England international signing for the club, I think that really set the bar high for players to follow suit. And I think he really, really was the perfect signing to get the ball rolling under the new owners.
Yeah, absolutely. We go for another 20 minutes to go, sort of thing. I know you've got things to do as well. I think the pronunciation of Ekiteke was split the club down the middle. Some say Ekiteke and some say Ekiteke, or what do you want to call it. But how do you say his name? I say Ekiteke, or just call him Hugo if you can't pronounce it right, mate. So, and big up to that, Alan. Can you see Timber, Nunez, Hoppin and Rich? We talked about them as well. Exactly, Holly. Look at Wolves spending 40 million. Fabio Silva, he was a huge prospect at Porto. From in when Raul was injured, he struggled badly, not scoring a goal all season. Now he's a flop. But he has had a lot of injuries, by the way, mate. So that's the thing. So take into consideration as well. Holly, Liverpool signed Robertson, and look, he is one there from home. Came from a relegated side.
No, I do agree. And with the odd exception, if you look at a player from a relegated side and they are someone special, then of course you can take that gamble. But what I don't want us to do is sign multiple players from relegated sides, because then you are basically just building up a relegation team. With the odd exception, it's fine, but not more than one for me. I think you can always make that exception, and I think that comes in kind of anything. You can make the exception with managers, whatever. Like, Eddie Howe, he came from a relegated team, but generally, I wouldn't be signing 4 or 5 relegated players. I just think that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Just get 1 or 2. That's about it. But looks like 4 or 5 be a recipe for disaster. You're right. And Red Ryan's by the way. Few players in the power are quicker than Sal. So he would be an option for use on the wing. That's Ross reckons Sal would do a good job for Newcastle. Big up to Rico, Everton fan. Hope you're okay. Big up to Richard again. Do you see Steve Bruce ever coming back to the Premier League after he managed us? And what happened with West Brom? I can't ever see a promoted team like Forest signing him. Definitely not. He's done in the Premier League. He is finished.
Do you know what though, John? I think the whole situation with Steve Bruce is bizarre. I never expected him to get a job after Newcastle, and he walked straight into one. He got a job easier than Rafa Benitez, and what's going on there, I do not know. But I think he's got so much luck on his side that honestly, it wouldn't surprise me, because I think so many people are riding off the fact that he was a great defender for Manchester United, but just because somebody's a great player, it doesn't mean they're going to make a great manager. So if he got another job in the Prem, it honestly wouldn't surprise me, but he doesn't deserve one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised neither, that sort of thing. Whoever gets him, good luck to you. But I tell you what, I advise you, do not employ Steve Bruce. I'd rather appoint Fiona Bruce rather than Steve Bruce, you know what I mean? At least you could do a better job as well. Let's put it that way. And John, will be uploading a short Steve Bruce video later on tonight. Could well be. And Theo's already done it. I'm doing it as well. Big up to Danny, by the way. Please hit the subscribe button, Danny, if that's okay. Brian Starr's a bad idea. He's a flop in this league. Derby is quality, but I don't think Leverkusen's going to pay. And Newcastle's pulled out of the deal, by the way, for what I'm hearing. So could be wrong. So just if it's going to mark out of 10 for Eddie Howe, how many marks out of 10 would you give him for the season? Bear in mind, it starts in November.
An easy, short answer, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I said my player ratings at the end of the season. Yeah, I did say 9, but I'm gonna give him a 10 by the way in the end because I think he's been absolutely fantastic. It really, really has. And please check out Holly's channel and subscribe. I've done that. I've subscribed as well. And it's a class channel, Jules. Holly has a brilliant channel. Absolutely fantastic. And I'll give Holly a 10 out of 10 as well, just for showing up as well. Or Holly D, I meant to say. Can you guys see the Newcastle positive signing Dean Henderson and Lingard for Man United? Lingard, no, but Dean Henderson?
Yeah, I'd like to see Henderson. I know we've been linked with him quite a bit, and I think certainly in the goalkeeper department we do need to strengthen. Obviously, Martin Dubravka is still good enough to be number 1 in my mind, but you've got Carl Darlow, Mark Gillespie, Freddie Woodman in the reserves, and I don't think any of them are up to scratch for the Premier League, so we definitely need a number 2 to challenge Martin Dubravka.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, my choice would be Lafont for Nantes, by the way, in the league, and that'd be my first choice to keep up. But if it's Dean Henderson, I'm going to back him as well. It could surprise us all. Didn't know a thing about Guimarães, but the stats are getting me hyped. Top of the charts in the league on passing sword is absolutely been amazing. And do you know Diaby is going to cost too much? That's why Newcastle's pulled out of the deal. And big up to Danny as well. The fact the new director of football, Ashworth, is making 2 wingers priority. Diaby then saw for a right winger. Again, I don't think Diaby's going to come because they're asking for a lot of money as well. And never heard of Bruno at the time when he was playing in this trader Leon. Newcastle's won a watch with him. If he keeps doing what he's doing at Newcastle, Madrid will snap him to replace Modric. Wow.
I can imagine there will be clubs sniffing around Bruno and probably 1 or 2 others as well, but certainly Bruno because he stood out massively in the Premier League, not just at Newcastle. But I'd like to think that he'll stay at the club because he was convinced to sign for the project. And why would you want to leave when you're at the beginning of the project?
I totally agree. But he wants to win things as well and gets in the top 6 if he can do that sort of thing. But I hope he stays for a long time. Excuse me, because I love this player. I love him. I really do love him. You take care of Jules as well, mate. So you say he's got a goal, one of me Charles, and big up to Ryan as well. And so same thing. So has injury problems this season, and probably unfair to judge him on that. Obviously, he has quality, but depends on the price. I think we would all prefer other players to him. For like Diaby and Sinister. I play Sinister as well. I think that guy's brilliant. I don't think you heard of this guy. Plays for Feyenoord.
No, I don't know anything about him.
Outside left. He plays outside left and he just loves to drift in as well. And he's been absolutely fantastic. Just want to talk about as well. The best game you have seen this season for Newcastle.
In terms of quality on the pitch and how we played overall in the 90 minutes, I think it's got to be the final home game against Arsenal, because I think that was probably the one game where we didn't take our foot off the gas for the entire 90 minutes. There's been games where we've played well for maybe a portion of the game, and then we felt comfortable and sat back and just kept the score as it was and just tried to not concede. But I think in that Arsenal game, from kick-off right to the final whistle, we were trying 100%. I think we put so much pressure on Arsenal. I think they got a massive shock. And not just that, because of course we were great on the pitch, but in St James's Park as well, the build up to the match with the flags, war flags have been incredible this season. The atmosphere, I think it really did just feel magical. And I think you got that sense that there's something exciting going to happen at St James's Park in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Got another 50 minutes to go, people. Keep his comments coming through. Any questions to Holly? Just fire away. And yeah, the thing is, like, you're right. I enjoy, like, I would love to go to that game. I don't know watch it on that day, sort of thing. And I tell you what, I had over 100 people watching the game live. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And I've got to thank them again. So, that majority of our team gone, they're all relegation folder. That's from Ronald. Fair enough. And no, I will not touch Harry Maguire or Jordan Pickford. You know me on that now. So I was close to sign for Barca when he was at Rennes. I've heard that as well, by the way. Maguire's downgrade to Lascelles. Did you forget that Liverpool's tactical course changed us as well, as Howe changed us to 4-3-3 to try play like Liverpool? And yes, I mean, very close to winning the title, by the way. And Fabio Silva played 22 games of the season and no goals. If Ekiteke had that, we wouldn't say it's a success. That's true. Absolutely. But you know, God give Fabio Silva a full season and just see how it goes from there. Do you remember Gillespie when he played for Motherwell? Yes, I did. Big up to Gemma, John, Holly, hope both well. Fully agree with the Senator Eddie Howe. And so who's been your player of the season and Holly's player of the season?
So I've said it a few times. I've said it on, I think I've said it on my podcast. I've said it on Steve's. I've said it on Total Sport and BBC Radio in Newcastle. And every time I get the same reaction, which is like, why on earth would you say that? But my player of the season is Kieran Trippier, without a doubt. And I know we didn't get a lot of game time from him because he had that injury to his foot, which prevented him from playing a lot of games. And he was obviously signed halfway through the season. But for me, my main reasons are, I think he was the beginning of the transformation. And I think without Kieran Trippier, we may not have stayed up. And maybe that's a bit dramatic to say, but I think it certainly would have been a lot harder to stay up because, like I said earlier on the show, he was that player, the first signing under the new owners, the one that made that statement, got the ball rolling, I think set the bar for other players to follow suit. And then even when he wasn't in that side, and he's been brilliant, by the way, one of the best right backs I've seen at Newcastle ever in my kind of, I don't know, 12, 13 years following the club. I don't even know, I've lost count, but quite a while. But then even when he wasn't fit, he was travelling to every game with the squad. He was so behind the lads. I was lucky enough to sit near him in one of the games, and you could see how interested and invested in the game he was. And he was honestly like a fan. He just has so much passion. And I think for that alone and how much he's transformed the dressing room, I have to give it to him. And I know he hasn't had a lot of game time, but I just think he's done so much more than what people have seen.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on Kieran Trippier as well. I think he's been absolutely fantastic this season. Comes in, everything you just said there, right? I can't really add to that at all because what you said, you're absolutely correct. And, you know, he's going to be a leader. He's going to be my captain next season. This guy is going to make sure all the players, especially the back line, is going to fix up as well. Great show. Love the guys. John, you're the better camera, though. I mean, this be camera okay, Holly? Because what it is on a computer sort of thing, like, you know, because I'll probably have to get better lighting as well. I mean, your light is quite full, so.
Well, I know when I came onto the stream, your picture was a little bit bad, but I thought it was maybe like my Wi-Fi connection, but obviously it's the same for everyone. It's just a little bit glitchy.
Yeah, sorry about that, but I'm probably going to have to see my computer sort of and get that sorted out as well, or probably new lights as well, which I've got, so I'm going to fix up really soon. But thanks, Let Us Know, Holly. Thanks, Pedro, as well. We'll probably get that sorted out pretty soon as well. I'm still here. He's a top gooner, by the way, but Lottie's my favourite gooner as well. His internet connection and girls as well. Dan as well. Fabrizio Romano did a Newcastle transfer targets video earlier on. I'm going to have to look at that later on. And what's been as well, I've got to ask this question, Holly. What has been What has changed the season, sort of thing? What's been your finest moment being a Newcastle fan this season? What is your finest moment? You could say like Joe Linton improved, Kraft improved, anything you want to say.
On the pitch or off the pitch?
Any. On the pitch, off the pitch. Your choice.
It's got to be the 7th of October, the day that the takeover went through. I think that was just like probably one of the best days of my life, never mind the season. It was a brilliant day. I know I was out from like 7 a.m. on that day because I know the night before watching Sky Sports, Keith Downey was like pretty much hinting that it was going to happen the next day. So like many other people, I kind of waited around all day, got to around tea time and people were thinking, is it going to happen? Is it not? But then it did, and out of nowhere, it was like everyone that lived in Tyneside just came out, and it was like a massive celebration. It was a fantastic night.
I was in Cardiff that day, done a delivery, and I heard the news from Ben Fletcher from Talkshow Camp and said that we got the takeover eventually. Right, I nearly hit that van. I nearly hit the van.
And I was crying and everything.
Oh my God. I was sat there, I was like, who got a takeover in Cardiff? One of the lasses who looked at us and said, sorry. I said, no. Newcastle United, I'm a Newcastle fan. I gave her a massive hug as well. Right, she's only about 5'2". I nearly picked her up as well. And then hubby was saying, oh, bloody, he's a bloody giant one, him, mate. You know what I mean? And, look, got to take over, don't make us cry sort of thing, you know what I mean? But they're both supporting Man United and they congratulate us as well. So that was really, really good. And it was fantastic, Holly. Fantastic time. John's fantastic at Wales. I'll now go to the World Cup after missing out for 64 years. Big up to Wales, by the way. And congratulations on qualifying for the World Cup as well. Yes, he would now. Big up, everybody. Please hit smash the subscribe as well, mate. It's your first time. My greatest moment is just there. It's just the takeover as well. Absolutely loved it. And let's be real, it's just absolutely brilliant. I mean, I nearly cried as well. And you know what it is, right? We've got our club back. And now we can look up to bigger, better things as well. And it is what it is. So yeah. So over the moon. Go for this comments quickly. So big up to Luca. Big up to Luca if he's in the house. Cool. Holly, question for you. What do you think of the atmosphere at the Etihad?
Yeah, so I travelled down to the Man City away game with Gemma, actually. It was a good day, apart from the football, as always. It was awful. I mean, obviously, we got beat 5-0, but you would have thought it was the other way around. I think after they scored maybe their third goal, pretty much half the stadium emptied. They didn't even really celebrate their final 2 goals. And then we stayed back at the end of the game to clap the lads off the pitch and, sing and all of that and just support them. But the Etihad was empty. I don't think anyone congratulated them on a 5-0 win. The champions of England, one of the best teams in the world. It didn't look like that at all. And I think I was actually shocked at how poor the support was. I've been a couple of times to the Etihad, seen it a few times as well, obviously on TV and stuff. And I never, ever imagined it to be that bad. But that game, when you're 5-0 up, I just thought it was crazy, the lack of support for their team. It was just mad.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. We're better fans of Man City. No disrespect to Man City, but listen, you're right. I mean, that's very, very strange. We would have stayed to the end of the game with a performance like that, but leave after the end of the game, I think that's wrong. Very wrong. Holly, question for you as well for now. Can you see Newcastle finishing in the where can you see Newcastle finishing the league upcoming season?
I think probably between 7th and 10th next season.
Fair enough. I'll go for the same. I'm going to say between 6th and 8th this season, and I'll go for that as well. Dan said, big in the top 6, Newcastle have to spend big for Diaby and obviously by 19 goals, 21 assists will cost you 100 mil. Plus, in this game now, 65 certainly Diaby is out for goals. And so he's trying to say, Ryan as well missed his comment saying that he would have gone for an experienced striker. And that's a good question as well, by the way. Go another 10 minutes before we wrap up as well, because I know this place will come through. Keep smashing the likes as well. Thanks so much, Steve. Big up to Brad. And he's a great guy. Quite spoken, but he's a great guy. And I hope you're okay, Brad, and your family. And even when Chips was injured, he still motivated the team. Definitely captain material, skipper. Fox said, Fabio had full season. And last year, it's gone 432. When Howe had that nasty skull injury, yeah, that was awful. Don't worry, John. You were sorted out once. Get the John Sinclair big studio and deck. Wow. I mean, It's that Bristol Wi-Fi again. I tell you what, I've got to find out who it is and fix up very quick. The idea is not off, mate. It is still on. Or if it's on, that would be absolutely amazing as well. And I think Jules has got to go. Jules, have a fantastic evening, mate. And thanks for being a mod, mate. And make sure I see you again. And she is fantastic, Jules, as well. And I really appreciate her help as well tonight. Let's keep down a Scottish guy, a big Toon fan, or he's a Rangers or Celtic fan, John or Holly. He's a Newcastle fan, isn't he? Oh, no, he's not. He's a Hearts fan, isn't he?
Yeah, I know he grew up supporting the Scottish team, but I think he's a bit of an adopted Geordie now. And I think certainly this season as well, playing a big part, obviously announcing the takeover and stuff. I think you could see how emotional he was and working in the Northeast for quite a few years. I think he's probably built that connection up.
Yeah, absolutely. Get this concert. Demolish and some guys saying that Newcastle looking for Sarr and Diaby 2 years left on the contract. Got to run, peeps. Thanks for again, Jules, who've been massive help. Thanks so much for lovely lots as well. There's a couple things. Hit the subscribe button, mate, if you can. Least favourite football team. Holly, least favourite football team.
Does that question need to be asked? I think we know the answer.
I think we do. We'll move swiftly on there, by the way. Has Trippier signing helped Kraft improve this form? I say yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ronald, Hawida lads, thanks for your donation, by the way. £5. Thank you very much indeed. And really appreciate that. Thanks so much indeed. Love you as well. And don't just get damage on your channel in the future. I did try getting, but he did say that it's better to get someone like Keith Downing or Pete Greaves because he doesn't know a lot about Newcastle United, by the way. So unfortunately, he had to pass on that one, by the way, which is a shame because he would have loved to chat to us. He even said that, but it's best to get someone from the Northeast correspondence. What formation do you think Ed's going to change to? He says he's going to play 4-3-3 due to the players we have in a minute.
Well, what next season does he mean?
Yeah, he's basically saying he's gone 4-3-3, but he's going to be a star signing. Let's hope we're correct.
To be honest with you, I think we'll probably persist with the one up top. Like, unless we get someone who plays very well alongside Callum Wilson, or if we bring in another striker and then you get him a partner, then we could maybe switch to the 2 up top. But if we don't manage to, and I think that'll be a big ask in one window, then I think we'll probably persist with them. We could just persist with the 5-4-1. And I know that it's so boring to watch, but under Eddie Howe, and with the quality of players that we have, I think it's much better. And when we have played that formation this season, I don't think it's been as bad to watch as it has been in previous years.
5-4-1.
Well, I'm not saying that we'll play the whole season and that, but I think there will be times when we play that formation, and I'm not necessarily totally against it because, again, I think we still need to remember we're at that stage where we need to fight for stability rather than challenging yet. I think we need to. I know we've been back in the Prem since 2016, so for quite a few years now. But when you think about it, we've battled relegation pretty much every year, so we need to get that stability where we're not fighting relegation. But I'd love to see us go 4-4-2, 4-4-3, whatever. But I think defensively we're probably not at that stage yet. And obviously it depends a lot on who we sign, because if we do sign some world-class players, then things change.
Absolutely. I'll get a couple for Surrey. That'll be fantastic. Mike Maynard and Gore will be an absolutely stunning signing, by the way. But is he going to leave Milan? I doubt it very much. And would you rather take Newcastle finishing top 4 next season or England win the World Cup? Top 4 for Newcastle all day long. Gotta be
Holly. Easy. I'm not even a big England fan, if I'm being honest.
Nah, not me as well. I loved England, Italy as well, but Italy out of the World Cup as well. Wow. I'm not surprised, really, because there's not really a great Italian team. Though that team won the Euros. How did they fail to beat North Macedonia? It's been long. I watched that game live as well, by the way. Wow. We get Eddie Howe, Merad, and Amanda on the streams to interview soon. Is that ever going to happen?
Well, you've got more of a chance of Amanda and Mia Dad doing a stream than Mike Ashley, that's for sure.
Give it a go. I'm gonna try and get in contact with them as well. Foxy, go watch the Amanda video at least 5 hours ago about Newcastle 5 signings. Yep, I'll be watching that. Do you know Keith Gans Jambo? John must be a Toon fan, Heart of England. And a couple of things, man. John, to get Keith down on this channel. I'd love to get Keith D on this soon. Least favourite Sunderland, Man United. Come on, I really know the answer to that one. Big up, Ronald. Thanks again. And go for this as well. And win back should be a backup option if we're losing the game. That's for Ryan. fouls are good. Fourth is the best and better way to play football at a high level. Gemma as well, at least favorite football team, surely Sunderland or the Scouse Smackers if you're talking Premier League. Got to congratulate Ukraine. They outplayed Scotland FA department yesterday. And Wales declared Stonewall penalty, which wasn't given. So, yeah, it is what it is. Big up to Wales. So, what's going to happen to you in the summer, Gemma? Not Gemma, Holly. What are you going to do over the summer? I call you Gemma then, didn't I?
So, yeah, I think it's because her comment was just on the screen. Exactly. Over the summer, I'm not sure, to be honest. Like, obviously, I've got more stuff coming up on my channel. I'm filming on Friday, so it'll go out Saturday morning. I'll probably schedule it for Saturday morning at 8 a.m. I've got an interview with Alan Robson coming out, who's like a Northeast radio legend, basically. I think most people that grew up in the Northeast know Alan Robson. Does a lot of different stuff. He's big on ghost hunting and things like that. So I'm looking forward to interviewing him about his career. And that's his first podcast that he's ever kind of done, like in terms of like smaller podcasts. He's always kind of done his own shows or on radio shows, but not really a podcast. So really grateful that he's free to do that. Looking forward to interviewing him. Obviously, hopefully be getting some more people on across the summer. I'll probably get maybe like Malcolm MacDonald and some other famous Newcastle names on there. And then, of course, I've still got my Sunday show coming out with Steve. And yeah, I don't know, but definitely be focused on more on my podcast. And I guess I'll just be posting updates on like my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram page.
Fantastic stuff. You're going to be peak, absolutely peak. I think you'll be absolutely fantastic. I mean, Macy's a fantastic show. I don't know if you watch my show on the Tuesdays, the John and Macy show.
I've watched it sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I think she's good, isn't she, Macy? She's absolutely brilliant. And then I get a lot of stick because people think I'm a red. I'm not a red. Macy's a red, by the way. And looking forward to that, Holly, that interview on your channel. I'll be watching that as well if she ever gets Super Mac or most names as well. There's video out there from Amanda Stephen Chan. Super Mac, what a player. He used to play for Lagunas as well, by the way, before he retired. And can we remind Dan Byrne around Fiesta that we're still waiting for that piggyback entrance that they were promised. I really want to see it happen. And I saw that as well. That was hellish, by the way. Listen, going to wrap it up because I know you're busy last, Holly, and but you know what? I mean, before I let you go, right, I will do backstage, but also, can you tell the viewers that don't know we can find you on your socials, please?
Yeah, definitely. So on Twitter, my username is @HollyBlade05. Facebook's the same. It's @HollyBlade05, my public page. My Instagram, I've just set up. I'm going to have to double check what that is. So I'll check now. One moment. I should have thought of this before. It's Holly_Blades.NUFC podcast. So I'll be posting updates about what I'm doing on my show on there. And then obviously my YouTube channel you can find just under my name, which is Holly Blades.
Absolutely fantastic. And if you missed the show, if you don't subscribe to the channel, then there's something wrong with these people. Honest to God, yeah. It really,
please
really
sub.
Is. Please sub. It's free. It's free. Everyone loves a free. I love a free. Holly loves a free. And there you go. And big up to you. Like, you take care, mate. And if you're doing the Steve Bruce vid on the pipeline, John, I'll be watching, mate. I'll be doing that maybe like 10, 15 minutes time. And John, we all know your secrets of being a Man United fan. No, I'm not. All it is, I've been doing qualified. I've got United fans who I know for a long time. And then everyone loves us on there because they know I'm a Toon fan. And then everyone's thinking I'm a secret red. I'm not a secret red, but there you go. But thanks, Mason. Amazing. Got to follow on the socials. She is peak and great show, great guest, and take care. Fuck you too as well. And if you like to subscribe to videos, John Sinclair, all the links are in the descriptions and Hollis as well. And if you like the video, like what you see, just smash the like button, please. It helps us a lot. Subscribe. Also, super chat like Ronald Bell has done. Thanks, Ronald. And also, if you like to become a member, it's just 99p. Once a month for 99p. Well, I get 50 members. I'm doing a competition as well. And going on Joey Beyond Pool Live. And if he invites us, I'll be straight on this channel straight away, 110%, because I love Paul, by the way, for what he's gone through as well. And big up to him, 11,000 subscribers he's got now, Holly.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations. That's a massive milestone.
It is. It is. I've got 2,630 odd, but but I'm keeping going. And thank you very much for being a mod. Thanks to all my mods as well, for Niall, Jules, and also Truls as well, and Ryan, of course. And I'll be back tomorrow for the John and Macy show. Ollie, don't go away yet because I want to do backstage. Only a quick question, but thanks for watching this. And it's been a great show. And I shall see you guys tomorrow for the John and Macy show. And it should be a cracking show. So watch what you're doing. And I shall speak to you guys tomorrow. Take care and watch what you're doing.